Hi there, I'm Brad. Welcome to the Bristol Show 2026. Today I am joined by Matt of Antrobus Audio. Matt, pleasure to see you.
Hi, Brad.
And you may have seen Matt actually just walking around in the background of the videos because your stand is literally right there.
Absolutely, yes. Yes, I know. It was a long journey to get here. I made it on time, though.
I was going to say, yeah, you're all good. You're all good. So for people at home that might not be familiar with what it is that you do, what are you presenting this weekend?
We're presenting, in a nutshell, beautiful furniture for music lovers.
Yes.
So about 3 years ago, I saw a gap in the market. I've been making furniture for 20 years now. I saw a gap.
General furniture, or
Well, mainly kitchens and desks
Yep.
and bespoke furniture.
Yeah.
So all kind of custom made, built to order, rather than just producing furniture as such. We predominantly specialise in using birch ply and formica as our raw materials. I've always loved hi-fi, and I noticed a trend, a movement, which I think you could loosely call lifestyle.
Yeah.
Where hi-fi was being promoted and marketed in a way which was more about the experience rather than the equipment. And I thought about the furniture, and I thought, there's people out there who want their equipment housed in the best possible way from a technical sound reproduction point of view, but also want it housed beautifully, rather than a bit in a architectural or engineering or technical way. Because it's like, not everyone has the luxury of a dedicated listening room.
Yeah.
And so often your kit is in and this is my experience, your kit is in your lounge.
Yeah. Yeah.
And my wife said, we want our everything looking beautiful in there.
Yeah.
She works in interior design, so she's very much driven by everything looking just right.
Yeah.
So actually, it came about developing this side of the business.
Yeah.
From my own home experience.
Yeah.
And then I thought, well, there's nothing out there. People either have dedicated hi-fi racks, or they seem to put their kit on something from somewhere like IKEA.
Yeah. Yeah, I think the Kallax bookshelves has
Kallax in brackets hi-fi rack.
Yeah, it's become a staple. I've seen some horrendous situations where people have housed their very large record collections in the Kallax boxed units, and it's just gone like that, and the records everywhere. It's they're not as sturdy as one would think.
Yeah.
But obviously, if people are going to buy from places like that because there's a convenience and price factor involved. But I think it's safe to say what you're producing, it's quite visually striking because...
Well, absolutely, yeah.
There are some other furniture manufacturers out there, and it's some weird and wonderful stuff, and it's... I won't name names, but I think some of them they're more focused on the performance, and it loses that lifestyle element.
Yeah,
and actually of being a piece of furniture at the end of the day. Whereas you've got a bit of a almost. Am I right in saying there's a bit of a mid-century twang to it?
I would be very happy with with that description.
Yeah?
Yes, absolutely, yes.
But my wife's big into interior design as well, so we're on a second house renovation. I've got good with the lingo.
Yeah. Well, I when I thought about where this was going to go, I thought I want to put equal weight on functionality, because that is incredibly important from a hi-fi point of view. But I want to put equal weight on the aesthetics and the appearance.
Yeah.
And so it can sit there as a piece of furniture. You can close the doors on it and go, well, it's actually a piece of furniture.
Yeah.
And someone came up to me on Friday and called it a sideboard, and I thought, well, fair enough, it is a sideboard, but it's not just a sideboard.
No,
and there's people out there. I looked at whether there was anything which could perform all the functions from a hi-fi point of view, and be a nice piece of furniture, and it doesn't exist.
No.
I went to Heels and I said, have you got anything suitable for housing hi-fi equipment. They go, well, we've got a media console.
Yeah.
But it's just basically a sideboard, stick your telly on top.
Yeah.
And they've got one little hole in the back so you can poke your cables through.
Yeah, I think every house in the sort of early 2000s, late 90s had the glass and aluminium TV stand. Like that was like the
de rigueur, wasn't it?
Yeah, exactly. So and you know you do. It's quite apparent that form and functionality are big factors in what you're doing.
Yeah.
And like, you know, it's always been the sort of, I think people just assume that you have to have the turntable on top, but you've got a unit with a drawer.
Absolutely,
for the turntable. So I quite like that because it, you know, I do have my turntable on top.
Yeah.
But the concept of having it in a drawer that you can then slide it away and it's doing its thing, that's quite nice.
Exactly. What I've been saying to people is you can either take the doors out in a matter of seconds and have your kit on display, ready to use, or you can put the doors in. You can either have the slatted doors, or you can have the solid doors, and then it's just a piece of furniture. And it's there in the room. It can still work because the slatted doors can take the remote control through the slat. So a lot of the functionality is actually quite integral to the materials and my kind of design aesthetic. So what I've tried to achieve is the functionality isn't a bolt-on.
Yeah.
It's integral. So the slotted shelves are a kind of a design feature that work perfectly from a functionality point of view, but look gorgeous.
Yeah, of
and
course.
people admire those.
Yeah.
And so there's nothing there that you can think, well, that's there because it needs to be there from a functional point of view. So I've tried to marry the two as much as possible in terms of the functionality, and even just the sliding doors, rather than saying, well, I'll use kind of like ball bearings and runners and stuff. They're just like running in grooves, which is a classic way of doing it.
Yeah.
And it's very kind of true to the materials. And so the runners that the doors sit in, you know, you see the naked wood in those channels. And if it's like the black one, for example, it's black on the top, but then the runners are the naked wood.
Yeah, of course.
And so it becomes a bit of a feature.
Yeah.
And so, like, you see the runners. It's not like I don't need to hide them.
Yeah.
I'm not choosing to hide them. I'm choosing to let those things actually kind of shout loud and proud about the design and the functionality.
Yeah, and that they're made of wood.
Work
You know, there's wood in there as well.
Yeah.
You know,
I mean, I'm quite keen to make something that is just wood, just wood and glue, and there's no metal parts, and it's feasible, and I think that's got a nice sustainable feel. And I think it could appeal to people from a kind of a functionality point of view of there's no metal that can contribute to any. I mean, it's one of those things that's very hard to test.
Yeah.
But obviously, when we develop the units, you know, all the time, forefront of the kind of design and construction process was to, you know, make sure there was no undue resonance and no undue vibrations and things like that. And if everything's made of wood and glued together, then it's a kind of like, you know, it's an organic material that isn't going to be interfering with, and contribute in any way to...
Well, I've said in some other videos we've done this weekend, you know, it's all physics. Everything is physics when it comes down to hi-fi.
Completely,
you know, so you've got to take the factor in those materials. They're going to have an effect on the sound.
Absolutely, yeah.
So how does it work? Do you have like a set range of products? 'Cause your kitchens were bespoke. Is it the same with this, or?
It's a mixture, actually. So we developed a couple of standard units and a couple of standard sizes because there are obvious sizes that are working within terms of the size of a hi-fi component, and likewise, if you're going to be housing vinyl, then you've got that dimension that is and a 500 or 600 mil width for vinyl is a nice kind of unit of that can be broken down.
Yeah.
So we make a two-door version, which is 1200 wide,
Yeah.
and a three-door version, which is 1800 wide.
Yeah.
And then we make it in two heights. We make it in the 700 high and which we call the midi, and then the 900 high, which is the maxi,
Yeah.
which is a bit higher. And within that height, obviously you've got enough for a certain number of shelves. So the midi's got space for 3 shelves of components.
Right.
And likewise, it has, if you wanted to, you have the turntable with space for the vinyl below it. That's an optional extra, because not everyone's got a turntable, but they are very popular these days.
Absolutely. There's a bit of a slight resurgence.
Yes, absolutely, which I'm very excited by.
And did I see that you've got some speaker stands over there as well?
Yes, yeah. The speaker stands can be made to match.
Yeah.
And they're optional extra. Yeah.
Nice. And are we talking sort of CNC, or is it handmade, or combination?
Bit of everything.
Yeah.
It's we use the kind of the most modern technology to design stuff.
Yeah.
We've got a CNC machine in the workshop.
Yeah.
There's no point in trying to do those repetitive, accurate tasks by hand when the machine can do them more effectively.
Yeah. It gives free shot to do other stuff.
Absolutely. Yes. Yeah, so...
so are you making all of that in Bristol then?
It's all made in Bristol, yeah. Yeah, about 6 miles away from here.
Yeah?
In just near Kingswood.
This is why you're so fresh-faced, because you're able to go home at the end of every day. So you've got into your own bed. And
I left my house at 20 to 10 this morning.
The show opened at 10 and you were already here.
I was here at 10 too.
Yeah,
10 minutes away, yeah.
And obviously, anything that has the sort of hi-fi name to it, even if you're hi-fi adjacent, it's going to there's a price that comes with it.
Yeah.
There's a premium you're paying because it's not just a basic piece of furniture that's flat packed from IKEA, shall we say. What sort of price are we talking about for the products?
Our entry-level unit starts at around 1,500, and the couple that you can see here today, they're about 2,500.
Yeah. Which
but that's for a bespoke option. That's not something off the shelf.
And even if you went to say John Lewis, for example, to buy a coffee table or a dining table, you could be spending the same amount easily. So
absolutely,
we're not talking obscene amounts of money for furniture.
And they're built to last. They're solid products. There's no veneers.
No,
they're solid wood, and either bamboo or birch ply.
Yeah.
With Foresso or Richlight or Formica or Phoenix.
And what about finishes? Because you've got a range of colours available?
Yeah. I mean, the Formica range comes in a couple of 100 colours.
Wow.
So within reason, you could have it whatever colour you want.
Yeah.
And you could mix it up,
I mean, that's impressive.
Yeah. Well, it's really useful. And that's been a thing that's gone through our business since we started, of using Formica, which is like a lovely, beautiful product.
Yeah.
That's got a kind of it goes back to the mid-century kind of feel.
Yeah.
There's lots of lovely sort of muted blues and greens and greys.
Yeah.
Even the yellows, the muted yellows are gorgeous.
And I suppose the thing is, it's always cyclical with the design styles and the choices.
It is, yeah.
So, is there? Would you change the design, the style, or will you just sort of ride it out?
I think the signature of what I've done and what I've been doing for 20 years is the exposed wood.
Yeah.
Either the birch ply or the bamboo, sandwiched with another material.
Yeah.
And not hiding it. So you're seeing it on the front edges and you're seeing it on the top edge.
Yeah.
And that is kind of like, because the material looks so beautiful.
Yeah.
That's a feature, and it's a design feature that you kind of start with as a motif.
Yeah.
And then I think it wasn't long after we started, bouncing ideas around on the hi-fi unit, that we came up with the idea of the slatted doors. and the slatted doors just kind of like say something. They. So I think that's become quite a kind of strong design motif.
It's quite an industrial look, isn't it?
Yeah. And because I think we had the idea that in the future we will actually make some speakers which could have the slatted fronts as well.
Ah, okay, yeah, like as the grills.
Yeah, as the grills.
Yeah.
And actually, I mean, the roadmap, so kind of looking ahead a few years now, is potentially to build what you could call, back in the day, used to be called a radiogram.
Yeah.
Or a music centre.
Yeah, yeah.
So it would be the unit.
Yeah.
Which wouldn't just be components, because there's space in there for. No, so if you were going to go all in one,
you see them on Facebook Marketplace all the time, don't you?
I know,
they've got the old Garand turntable in the top. They've got lovely storage for your records and everything. And that really ties into that mid-century look, doesn't it?
Well, actually, I mean, as a sort of as an aside, when I was a child, in our front room at home, there was a large antique blanket chest.
Yeah.
And you went and you opened it up, and inside my dad had converted it, and in there was a turntable and a reel-to-reel. This was before cassette.
Yeah.
There was a reel-to-reel tape recorder.
Oh wow!
And so I had the luxury of recording the charts on a Sunday evening when they did the rundown.
Yeah.
And like do my own early mixtapes before cassettes had even hit the market.
But then that's lovely, because there's a nostalgia to that anecdote, which I think you've probably brought into your product as well.
Yes. No, it is. It's all those. You're right. It's all those lovely feelings about things that you did when you were a child, and the first time you heard a Rocket Man by Elton John, for example.
Well, I distinctly remember, because my parents had. They had the records in they had the hi-fi in a wooden cupboard, but the behind the wooden door was a glass door, and I distinctly remember the feel and the sound of the magnet hitting the.
Yes,
and
I know what you mean.
That sound to me, that I know that I can smell the records just thinking about it. There's that attachment. So it's that olfactory feeling that is just as important as the sound itself.
Absolutely, and then you kind of like all those like little triggers and sounds. You connect with your whole, memories and childhood experiences and good things that happen to you, even if they're not kind of directly related. They're kind of. They're ways into reminiscing and
so you're going to hopefully be creating memories for new generations.
Absolutely, definitely. I
love that. So that's part of the roadmap, is the idea of a radiogram.
Radiogram and speakers and or freestanding speakers.
So you could be in a different place in a few years' time.
I could be in a different place.
Cause this isn't your first year.
No, we showed last year. So we launched at this show this time last year. And but come a long way since then in terms of. I mean, I would describe those two units over there as version 3.5.
Right.
Of the MC1.
Yeah.
Just because you make stuff and then you make someone we take on a commission, and sometimes the customer kind of comes in with a suggestion. For example, we did one with a lift out top, so you look down into it. And then it wasn't actually another customer who said, "Oh, can we put a turntable on a drawer as well?"
So you're actually, shows like this are invaluable to be able to have that one-to-one interaction with customers. And and make decisions
show,
based on that.
And also, when a commission comes in, and we, so the whole process can sometimes be quite a collaborative process.
Yes.
Of just kind of trying stuff. We had a customer that ordered two, sitting side by side, and so it was like So for him, he had got the Mark I and the Mark II of the ideas, and they were a mirror image of each other. we made one first, and then the second one, there were a few little tweaks that improved on the first one. You know,
I like that.
the first one was good. The second one was even better.
And I think that's really important that you're quite clearly very open to ideas and change, and there's a certain fluidity to the design process.
Absolutely. Well, you know what? It's what makes me tick.
Yeah.
Just, designing stuff. I love making stuff too, but the design is the thing that I really enjoy.
Yeah.
And just that of having an idea, like waking up in the middle of the night and going, oh, and then writing it down. You wake up and go, oh yeah, let's try that.
Let's give that a go.
Or no, and you got to try the things that don't work.
Yeah.
To work alongside the things that do work.
Yeah, of course.
And it's the so it's kind of, I don't know what percentage work and which percentage don't work, but if you have the crazy ideas that kind of go too far, then the ones that go just the right distance are the ones that are really good.
Lovely stuff.
And then, you think outside the box occasionally, all the time actually.
Yeah.
And then
that's brilliant. And if customers and people watching are interested in your products, they find it online?
Absolutely, yeah. Antrobusaudio.com.
There we go. We'll put a link at the bottom of the video.
Fantastic.
So, and well, Matt, thank you so much for taking the time to sit down with me and have a chat about this.
It's been a pleasure.
I feel like we could probably talk a lot longer,
but we haven't even talked about football yet.
I know, exactly. So there we go. But Matt, thank you so
politics.
Much. Well, we'll stick clear of politics. But Matt, thank you so much. It's been a pleasure.
Brad.
And guys, check out the furniture online, and hopefully come to the show next year. And who knows, we might see some speakers or radiograms in the near future. So excellent stuff. Take care, buddy. Thanks very much, guys. Bye now.
Cheers.